right.
We've probably all gotten a set of walkie-talkies at one point in our lives.
All right, let's get going.
They're really cool.
And we're off.
We've seen all kinds of walkie-talkies in the movies.
Hey, Dad, what's our Vector Victor?
We're gonna be there shortly, okay?
Mom,
And there's this strange phenomenon that happens even before we start talking on the airwaves.
Good, parking's on the left.
Copy that.
Most of the radios we got as kids fall under the consumer category and are preset to operate right out of the box.
Oh, there they go.
Rodney, come in.
These types of radios are called FRS radios and operate in the simplex mode. These radios look like the real deal, and to a certain extent, they are very real because they work. These types of radios talk back and forth directly from radio to radio. Thing is, there are limitations, such as line of sight interference,
20, Rodney.
range, and channel limits.
Open.
FRS radios are also used in professional settings,
Frank,
which comes in handy for groups of 2 or more people.
what a terrible swing.
The radios that professionals use have better performance in general.
He's destroying my golf course. You see his balls out there?
The same principles apply, and so do the limitations.
Just give me the clearance.
Roger. Roger,
Why does he keep saying that?
we gotta get him today. The course is closed. He knows he's not supposed to.
These radios are designed to help your team take care of business,
Ready, clearance. Over. Copy.
even if that means catching the bad guy.
I'm gonna get you, Frank Browning. You're messing with the wrong guy.
Tell me when I can go get him.
Even the professionals using FRS radios are usually under the illusion that their conversations are private,
You'll never catch me.
You hear that?
and that can sometimes lead to some rather interesting situations.
Just let him go.
Copy that.
Hey, listen, Junior. You gotta pick up those balls, buddy. Every last one of them. You hear
Instantly, you have a new audience.
that? How come I have to pick up his balls? Junior, you're the new guy. You gotta pick him up.
But who might be listening is rarely a consideration.
There's always next Monday, guys. Over.
Copy that.
The more sophisticated FRS radio user might know how to program channel use to avoid such crosstalk. But to be honest, that's rare.
I forgot my walkie-talkie.
Yeah, roger that.
Why does he keep saying that?
There's some kind of rattlesnake in.
So, more often than not, you're going to end up with those unintentional audiences from time to time.
I think I found something.
Are you still on that Sasquatch thing? Bigfoot, unicorns, your mom being nice?
But who that audience is will remain a mystery.
I think I see him. Over.
Come on, the thing is not even real.
And all the while, they're listening to your private conversations.
What, are you in love with him? Yeah, he's one hairy-ass piece.
That part is real.
You can tell me if you have a thing for him.
He's looking at me. I can't believe he's looking at me.
Yeah, right. Over.
He's walking towards me.
You'll more than likely never meet
very
them.
Close now.
But if you do, well, the experience is gonna be legendary.
Yeah, a real legend. Not me, he's real.
Imagine the chaos in the world if the radio-to-radio model was the only system and range was not an issue. The necessary and not so necessary conversations would be fighting for the channels and the airwaves, and it just wouldn't work. So, back in the day, the pioneers of police radio created the foundation of what would become exclusive channel two-way radio communication.
Police discover the power of broadcasting. Officers equipped with receiving instruments. It's in trial stages now, but it works.
By the 1920s, it was possible to communicate from headquarters to patrol cars and horses.
A mounted policeman gets instructions by radio.
But the communication was only one-way communication. By the early 1930s, the Bayonne Police Department in New Jersey developed the first two-way system that could maintain a two-way communication between a land system and a system in a patrol car. The patrol car had a transmitter and receiver in the car and were huge, behemoth-looking creatures. This concept worked for small communities, but most police departments needed more range. So someone figured out that you needed to send a signal to and from something called a repeater. A repeater is both a receiver and a transmitter. The repeater itself looked like an old piece of radio equipment and was placed at a site that had the capabilities to have a high antenna for receiving and transmission. On the conventional repeater system, the voice would go from the person's mouth into the radio, sent as a radio signal on a dedicated frequency and received up to the mountaintop. The signal is routed to the repeater, processed, and sent as a transmission off the tower to the person's radio on the other end. Revolutionary? Yes. Limitations? Of course. The system could only handle one conversation at a time. Conventional repeaters were like the old bank teller line. People just had to wait their turn until the other conversations are finished.
Don't worry, I'll be quick.
And the line clears open.
Hold on, almost done.
As time marched on, industries and technology evolved. This created a demand for more efficient two-way radio communication. So, along came trunked repeater systems. Instead of handling only one conversation at a time, trunked repeaters had the ability to handle more than one conversation at a time from different groups of subscribers. In fact, many. It's like the new bank teller line. No waiting. When someone pushes the button on their radio, the user is automatically assigned the next paired channel, giving those users a virtual private conversation. This worked great for local subscribers. The only problem was that subscribers often needed to travel well past the range of the local repeater and would need to manually switch their radio from tower to tower site in order to talk to someone in their group at different locations, which was quite often a clumsy process. It was now clear that the future was really about more subscribers, more people being able to have simultaneous conversations without geographic limitations. But how?
In the 1990s, we were operating multiple trunking systems at different tower sites. The problem was that the tower sites were not connected. They just weren't networked together. We felt that there had to be a better way. Different manufacturers had developed networks, but they were all horribly expensive, and the amount of money we would have to charge to be on such an expensive network was just out of range of the average business user.
Around the same time, you might recall the mobile phone industry was struggling with the same issues. The high cost of service for the average consumer was just out of reach. But one particular mobile company, Nextel, had a remedy for this, which was a different kind of network.
Their concept was to build a cellular-like system so that they could get more conversations in progress at the same time on what we considered to be one radio channel. But we felt that there was a different way to do it, that we could do it with our high elevation sites so that we could cover much more geographic territory with one tower than what could be done with cellular. As the society became more and more mobile, I knew that that was the future of two-way radio.
So as the cellular footprint, or network revolution, was busy serving customers with their one-to-one conversation platform, Mark Abrams had his own vision to master the one-to-many conversation platform with two-way radio, meaning that customers could talk with their entire group simultaneously. He saw that the future of his two-way radio industry was building his own network in Southern California. In order to build a network, you need to have repeaters strategically positioned in geographic locations that would help to create seamless coverage. So, what did Mark Abrams do? Adding to his inventory of trunk repeater locations, he painstakingly built out and installed equipment on tower site after tower site, and even built some towers from the ground up. He assembled great teams to build these sites, and got plenty of help from man's best friend. The infrastructure had been built. This created the Mobile Relay Associates footprint throughout Southern California. But you need more than tower sites to build a network.
Spectrum, which are radio channels, is the lifeblood of any radio system. You cannot operate a radio system without spectrum. So we embarked on a program of acquiring radio channels, and we kept building up our reservoir of channels so that we could build a network once it became available.
At first, the system was analog, but now the system had advanced to digital seamless coverage with the Kenwood Generation 2 NextEdge system with capabilities no one has ever seen. That's the state of the art as far as Mark was concerned.
By utilizing the power of trunking, tying that together with the power of a network, the two of them together allow us, Mobile Relay, to be able to provide service to thousands and thousands of subscribers while they have fleets of vehicles and radios that travel all over Southern California, Eastern Sierras, and the Central Nevadas.
Truck 27.
You have to have a network.
There's a backup in the freeway.
And with a network,
What's going on?
all the tower sites are connected together.
Backup is in Palm Springs. What's your ETA?
So whenever you talk on any one tower,
I am so glad we made the switch.
it'll come out of all the other towers or any number of the towers as required to communicate with all the people in your fleet. And it's all handled automatically behind the scenes.
He had done it. He built the MRA network that would be second to none. How does it work? Most of his customers call it FM. And we're not talking about FM radio. It stands for f***ing magic. Of course it's not f***ing magic. It's 4 decades of precision technology and innovative experimentation. It's understanding the foundation of the industry. It's providing a true one-to-many communication solution. Mark says it like this.
Press the button on the side of the radio sends out a signal to the repeater. And so what happens is the radio will change frequencies by the digital signal, which is a 4-level signal, will jump from one frequency to another within the passband, and each one of these 4 levels represents passband of the IF. 2 characters, 000110 or 11, which is binary.
Well, maybe it is f***ing magic. Mobile Relay Associates, the best two-way radio solution and a bigger footprint than Sasquatch for companies like yours. Call today.